Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Brittany. On this channel, we talk about all things living your dream life and designing it to be more than you could have ever hoped and dreamed of. And there's a lot of facets to that. For me in particular, it's working remotely and being able to live anywhere in the world that we want. On a lot of people's bucket list, and mine since childhood, was living in Florida. I snowbirded here for several years, but that just wasn't enough. I really wanted to have a home here. So last year, I bought a house here in Orlando. This video is going to be the top 5 reasons why you should have a home in Orlando and the top 5 reasons against it. If you like this video, please consider hitting the thumbs up button below and subscribing to the channel. There's a lot of videos that I'm going to make in the future about working remotely and how we afford that and juggle just the day-to-day tasks that go into having multiple homes and living around the world. I'm going to jump right into the 5 top reasons that you should move to Orlando. If you're only interested in the negatives, then jump to this timestamp and I'll give you the top 5 reasons why you shouldn't be moving to Orlando. Reason 1, that you should move to Orlando. This was absolutely my top reason for moving here, and it's that there is so much to do. Now you're gonna find all kinds of things to do in major cities across the US, but nothing like Orlando. It's the tourist capital of the United States. I mean, there's so much to do here. Besides the theme parks, it's going to have the typical museums and downtown entertainment that any other major city is going to have. I never run out of things to do here. There's tons of events on the weekend, and I've had an amazing time exploring all of the neighborhoods that surround Orlando. If you like to have fun, this is the city for you. Second reason to move to Orlando. It is beautiful. There are so many tourist dollars, roughly 75 million, I believe, each year get pumped into Orlando. That is a whole lot of money that is not derived from the population here. So everything is landscaped, all the highways are beautifully maintained. I'm continually driving down the road and being like, man, it is so beautiful here. Even after being here for as long as I have, I still don't get tired of it. The third reason to move here is the diverse population. Anyone is going to be able to fit in this city. And people are constantly moving to Orlando from all corners of the United States. I've made some of my best friends here, and I can't imagine my life without them. And they're all from everywhere. Some are from the New England states, some are from the California area, but we're all here because we love Orlando. Number 4 might not be a reason that you thought of, but it's a pretty good one. It's the fact that it is so easy to travel everywhere else in the country and the world from here. So many people come here to be tourists that there's flights from everywhere. I got a nonstop flight from Hawaii. I've flown nonstop to Scotland and London. You can go anywhere in the world from here and it's super easy. It's also incredibly close to a number of cruise ports, so I can go on a cruise last minute anytime that I want. So even though I don't think that you're going to want to leave Orlando much because it's so great, it's pretty easy to vacation away from here if you want to. Number 5 you've probably already looked into, and that's the fact that the cost here is significantly cheaper than many US cities. It is on the climb, but so is everywhere else. And you can afford a pretty nice house here for under $1 million, which is not the case in most US cities. Also, because the way Orlando is set up, you can live in a single family house pretty close to downtown. Our house is only a mile from downtown, and it was less than $500,000. There's also many more affordable neighborhoods in the surrounding metropolitan area of Orlando that you can find beautiful new construction homes, most with pools, in nice gated communities for really affordable, $300 and under price ranges. Now that I've convinced you to move to Orlando, let me tell you 5 reasons why you maybe should reconsider. Number 1 reason why not to move here is actually like my personal con and my least favorite thing about Orlando, and that's the tourist driving. Because a lot of people vacation here from all around the world, you have a lot of diverse drivers. Most are looking for different tourist destinations that they're going to. So the closer you get to the theme parks, the more dangerous it gets. But you see so many traffic violations here. People running red lights, people turning when they shouldn't, people cutting across 3 lanes just to not miss their turn. You're going to find much worse actual stop and go traffic in other major cities, for sure. There's not that much here in Orlando, and they just expanded the main I-4 highway that runs straight through Orlando. But having driven in all the major US cities, you're not going to find just the sheer recklessness that you're going to find here in Orlando. It also makes some of the locals pretty angry, and they get fairly aggressive. Number 2 con to living here, you might actually think is a pro, and that's the weather. Of course, in the winter, it's beautiful, mild temperatures, dry, but in the summer and the spring and a decent amount of the fall, it is hot. It is the beginning of November and it is 82, 85 degrees outside. During the summer, it rains every day. Now, you're going to hear Floridians defend the fact that it's raining because the sun usually is shining, but that just increases the humidity. Usually in the summer, I can walk out my front door, walk about 10 feet to my car, and already be like sweating. If that's not something that you're into, then you probably don't want to move here. Personally, I'd rather be hot than cold, but that's really for you to decide. Third con to living in Orlando you might not have thought of, and that's the sheer amount of visitors that you're probably going to have. All your friends and family are going to want to come here. Now for me, this was like a huge plus, but for a lot of people, this can be a huge negative. If you don't want to take vacation days off to shuttle your friends and family around to all the various theme parks, if you don't want to budget extra money whenever they come to town to go out to dinner with them, to show them all the various fun things that you can do here, then that's definitely something that you should budget in. Many times it gets forgotten whenever you're talking about the cost of living here, and it's a very real and very substantial cost. Number 4 you might not have thought of either, and that's the distinct lack of local produce. Things do not grow here naturally, and they don't grow here for very long. In the summer, it's too hot to grow most things, and in the winter, it gets too cold at night to grow most things. So we have very short growing seasons here, and you're going to have to buy soil from the store because my yard is pretty well all sand. If you're somebody that's like from California and you're expecting to go to like farmers markets and buy beautiful like fresh lettuce, or you're from the northern Pacific area and you enjoy like mushroom season there, or you're from the Midwest like I am, and the summer's long and you can grow all kinds of fresh vegetables in your backyard for months on end, then you're not going to find that here. Vegetables are distinctly more expensive. An ear of corn in the summer at the grocery store in the Midwest costs me 25 cents roughly, maybe even less than that on sale. Here, you're not going to pay less than $1 per ear, which some of you probably might find shocking, depending on where you're moving from. Number 5 has to do with the theme parks. Many people that move here love Disney. I love Disney. But if you don't love Disney, maybe you should consider moving to a different US city. Many of the people here move here because they love Disney. You will see a lot of enthusiasm about that in personal home decorations and just general advertising in the area. If this is something that's going to annoy you, then perhaps you should consider living someplace else. Most of the tourists have children, so there is a general abundance of children everywhere, whether it be restaurants to, of course, the theme parks, to movie theaters, to shopping malls. There's a lot of kids. If you're young and child-free, or you're old and retired, and that's going to annoy you, then you should take that into consideration before moving here. So that is my 5 pros and my 5 cons about moving to Orlando. Personally, I would love some more new neighbors. So if you're thinking about moving to the Orlando area, then that would be fantastic. Let me know below what area you're considering moving into in the surrounding neighborhoods. You can find me here in College Park. I really love it. It is a really diverse community, very close to downtown. That's going to have a lot of young professionals, but also many retirees. And most people live in this neighborhood year round. It's not as much of a vacation rental spot. If you're thinking about Airbnb your property like we do, there is many different laws depending on which county you live in around Orlando. So that's something that you should research before buying a home in this area. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have down in the comments. I really appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see you back here next week with another one. Bye!